All right, brothers, today I'm going to teach you how to look at her like daddy looks at her so that she sees you as a guy who's very used to talking to really beautiful women. And he's so used to it that he's even skeptical of her. What this is going to accomplish is this is going to set you up in her eyes as a challenge. Women want a challenge. Women want a guy that they can't have. In my previous videos, I've been telling you never show a woman that you're 100% sold on her. Now, I've never gone deeply into explaining what that means, so this video is dedicated on that concept, and I'm going to explain to you exactly what that means in depth. There's a lady by the name of Esther Perel. She talks about desire. She was a marriage counselor and just a counselor in general, and couples would come to her and they would say, Esther, we love each other very much. We're always holding hands. We're always sitting next to each other on the couch watching movies together. We do everything together. We love each other, but that spark is gone. We're not attracted to each other, and it doesn't make sense because we love each other and everything's cool. What Esther Perel explains to these couples is as follows. She says, in order for desire to exist, there has to be separation. The reason why you two don't desire each other is because you have become one. You do everything together. You always hold hands. You're always there next to each other. There is no space. There is no state of not having. Therefore, desire is impossible. So in order for desire to exist, we need to have a space. We have to have the state of not having. So how does this correspond to never show a woman that you're 100% sold on her? Well, if I show you that I'm 100% sold on you, that means the game is over. So the woman has nothing left to desire. The chase is gone. When I'm with a woman, I never want the game to end. So I always give her the impression, you're kind of winning me over, but I'm not quite sold on you yet. This keeps the game alive because it keeps something for her to play with. It's like the cat playing with the mouse. The cat will sit there and play with the mouse as long as the mouse is moving, but once the mouse is dead, the cat just is like, it's dead. The game is over. Leaves it alone. So, in order for you to keep desire alive, you have to keep the chase alive. Let's talk about this daddy look that I'm talking about. So, how does daddy look at his daughter? He loves her. He thinks she's the most beautiful, precious thing in the world. But he also knows that she can be manipulative, and she can be a big pain in the ass. And he also knows that she's a bit crazy. Well, when I'm looking at a beautiful woman and I'm looking at her through that same skeptical look, what that is communicating to her is, this is a guy who really sees me. He sees me beyond my outer shell. He knows that I'm a bit crazy. He knows that I can be a pain in the ass sometimes. He knows that I'm not perfect. So ironically, when a woman sees you kind of tilting your head, squinting your eyes, and looking at her with a bit of skepticism, the same way daddy looks at her, that's when she actually feels, finally, a man who's really seeing me. Most men don't see her. Let me say that again. Most men don't see her. They are fooled by her outer shell. So a lot of men are looking at her. And what does it look like to look at a beautiful woman? It looks like this. Oh my God, I'm so impressed. Oh, you're a beautiful angel. You're perfect. That's the worst thing to say to a gorgeous woman. You're perfect. You're a perfect fallen angel. That confirms to her that you don't see her because she's thinking, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect by a long shot. I'm human. I'm defective. You're not seeing me. You're being fooled by this outer shell. But then when Jad comes in and he looks at her like her daddy looks at her, and he's like, oh, sweetheart, yeah, you're cute, but I'm not even sure if you're worth the trouble. You're probably more trouble than you're worth, aren't you? That's when she's like, finally, a boy who sees me. And that's when you get her. I have a saying, a woman seen is a woman seduced. Let me say that again. A woman seen is a woman seduced. What does that mean? Inside every woman is a little girl who's wanting and needing to be seen. When you see the real her, behind the act, behind the makeup, behind this hot girlness, let's call it, when you see the real her behind that, that's what seduces her. A woman seen is a woman seduced. Here's another angle to go at this. We're using women's game on them. Observe women when you're seducing them. They're also tilting their heads, they're also squinting their eyes, and they're also looking at you with a lot of skepticism, thinking, I don't know if I can trust you. A woman has encountered a lot of manipulative guys in her life, so she knows that she has to be very careful in who she lets in. So when we flip it around and she sees you looking at her the same way she looks at you, that actually tells her, this is an intelligent man who's on my level. He's intelligent enough to know that you need to filter in the people that you let in your life and not just let anyone in just because they look good or just because you're attracted to them, but rather this man is intelligent enough that he is skeptical, which means he's thinking on levels, and it's not, my beauty alone isn't enough. He actually wants to know the person behind that. So by being skeptical, that actually makes her trust you more. Here's something I read on a forum over 10 years ago that stuck with me really well. He said, I wish I could give this guy credit, but I couldn't find it. I tried digging it up. He said this: when it comes to the drop dead gorgeous women, remember this. Look at her and think the following. No matter how hot she is, someone, somewhere is completely sick of her shit. Let's say that again. When you see a drop dead gorgeous woman, remind yourself, someone, somewhere is absolutely fed up with her shit. So don't idolize this beautiful angel. Remind yourself, she's a defective human just like me and just like you. And here's another pro tip on how to improve your skepticism so that it's not really fake, but it's more real. When you meet a truly beautiful woman and she's single, that should set off some alarm bells in your head. You should be asking yourself, how is this drop dead gorgeous beauty single? If she's single, that means that as hot as she is, maybe she has more crazy than hot, which causes her to stay single because her crazy always ruins her relationships. So when I meet a beautiful woman and she's single, my first question is, whoa, how can this drop dead gorgeous beauty be single? If she is, maybe there's something very wrong here. And so I should be skeptical because maybe she's crazy. Maybe she's toxic. Now, we're not going down the misogynist, hating women or judging her, anything like that. But all I'm saying is, hey, if a woman is like 25 plus and single and has a history of being single, you should question that, because 9 out of 10 times you will find what I'm saying is true. She's hot, but she's crazier. Her crazy is higher than her hotness level. Let's say that, right? As hot as she is, she's even crazier. And so her relationships don't work, and she's dealing with that. We're not judging them, but we're just saying something that's true and something that should be like, whoa. You know, that's an alarm bell that should be going off in your head if you meet a drop dead gorgeous beauty who has a history of being single. And so I can sneak that into the conversation like, oh, are you seeing someone now? And she's like, no. And I'm like, oh. And then maybe I'll talk to her more and ask her more questions about her relationships. And if I can find a pattern where she can't hold a relationship, yet she's so beautiful, I'm going to kind of become more skeptical and show her that I'm kind of skeptical about that, which will then turn the tables and have her start qualifying herself to me more. Look, we're all a bit crazy. We all got issues. All I'm reminding you is that that gorgeous angel, she's got issues too. And when she sees that you see that, let's just say you're moving in the right direction. In conclusion, as a pro seducer, Jad looks at women with skepticism and he lets them see the skepticism in his face and in his eyes. Yeah, sweetheart, you're cute, you're beautiful, but I'm not quite sure about you yet. Let's see what level your crazy is at. And let's say she's a reasonably good person, she's balanced, and I do like her. Even as the relationship progresses, even as she becomes my girlfriend and my wife, I'm going to maintain some level of this skeptic attitude. Why? Because the game never ends, my friend. A woman doesn't want what she can have. Desire requires space. So even as her boyfriend and even as her husband, you have to keep that chase going until your dying breath. Never show a woman you're 100% sold on her, and watch how women start feeling very attracted to you. While other guys are so easy for her to get, you're going to be the challenge that she can't stop thinking about. Make sure you watch my core training. I show you the exact 5 steps to landing a gorgeous woman. You can find the link below. Make sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next.